years, I'm not going to do an hour of dad jokes. All right, I'm not just. Sometimes people, yes, exactly. You can feel the tension in the room right about that point where they're like, wait, he's not going to talk about having a kid for an hour, is he? You know, and I'm not going to do that to you. One, it's boring, and two, it would make me quite a hypocrite, you know, based on a lot of the material I've done in the past. So. But you know, it has been my world for the last year. I mean, it's a wholly unique experience to me. So of course I've made some observations and thought of some funny things, and I'll share those, and hopefully you won't have to have had a kid to get them and appreciate the jokes. And I'm certainly not gonna tell you, you know, how amazing she is or anything like that. But she is precocious, I will say that. She is precocious. She's 54 weeks old. But if you see her, you'd be like, well, what is she, 62 weeks old? You're like, no, actually, no. She's actually, I know. Thank you, though. Thank you. No, I know. She's very mature for her age. You don't, yes, you know, she carries herself with or I carry her, but, you know, she exudes the kind of maturity you don't often associate with 54 weeks. But, you know, it is a fascinating thing to be a part of, to watch the evolution of this thing. Because when they're born, there's nothing. There's no communication. It's nothing. It's a blob. It's not, you know, but then over time, you know, it starts to evolve. It starts to become a person, and personality traits start to exhibit themselves, and it's really fascinating. And I'm really looking forward to that big shift, you know, that happens, that big change where you finally start to love them. And that's well, hurry up with that part, please. When is it going to be worth it in any way, shape, or form? Please. But I am excited to meet her. I think that's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. I'm doing that thing, it's a very Brooklyn thing, where you don't meet your kid for the first 7 years, you know? You keep them pure, you keep them away. So she's in a yurt in a bubble underwater, and we'll be there for 7 years. And then this way, I can't taint her with any of my straight, white, hetero, cis, normative maleness things. And I've also decided that I'm not going to teach her to use pronouns when referring to people. Yes, no he's or she's, but everybody will be they, you know? And not necessarily so that she'll be progressive about sex. At night, when she's sleeping, I quietly go into her bedroom and I click on the little white noise machine that replicates the sound of the human heart, you know? And then I tell her these things. I whisper. So I go, Marlo, there is no God. Bernie would have won. Sometimes feminists can be their own worst enemies. You know, things are important that will be helpful. We have to take her for a 1-year physical, which every one of my friends with kids, which is a lot of them, you know, have all said the same thing. And I know if you have kids, you know what I'm about to say. Just like, oh my God, it's so hard to watch them go through that. It's really difficult. It's awful, you know, because there's all these needles, because there's vaccinations. I have to draw blood. All this shit happens. Oh my God, it's so terrible to watch them go through that. It's awful. And so what I've been doing with that in mind, what I've been doing is slowly introducing her to pain. Yeah, I had a baby, and no, and you're right not to applaud. You are right not to applaud. I'm not being facetious. It's I don't know why people applaud that, and it happens roughly half of the shows. People applaud, and it always bothered me. Even before I had a kid, that just, you know, yeah. So I had a kid. Yay! I haven't done anything applause-worthy yet. You know what I'm saying? I mean. You know, I barely had anything to do with it in the first place. My wife had an affair. I mean, look, come back and find me in 18 years, and if I've produced a decent, kind, ethical, moral, charitable, contributing member to society, then I will gladly accept your applause. But, it's a little early to tell, is what I mean, she could turn out to be a cunt, you know? She could. It happens all the time. Fucking happens all the time, and you know it. You know, well-intended, well-meaning parents do the right thing, and yet they raise asshole fucking children. Their children are fucking shitty pieces of shitty asshole shit. And it happens, you know? It happens. And, I mean, obviously, my wife and I are, we're not going to intentionally raise a TSA agent, but, we could put in all the work, and she still ends up being, like, kind of half Ann Coulter, half girl who killed her friend because of Slender Man. You know, you don't know. You don't know. You can throw as many future feminist onesies on an infant. Doesn't mean shit. She doesn't know what it means. It doesn't work through osmosis, you know? When I was growing up, my dad had a coffee mug that said, "World's Greatest Dad" on it. And he was a lying asshole piece of shit. He was a piece of shit. So what I'm saying is those onesies and mugs will just fly straight to your face. They don't care. You know, I blame the Chinese, really. Pa, pa, ta, ta, ka, cha, sha, pa, ka, ka. You know, that kind of thing, which is really kind of cute and endearing most of the time, but really quite the opposite early in the morning when she first wakes up and it's like 6:30 in the morning and I'm completely out of it and I got to change her diaper and then I got to go downstairs and get the mug out of the thing and fill it with water and put it in the microwave and get the thing, because I'm holding her with my left arm, and her mouth is right here. It's literally right here. Her mouth is right here, and I'm doing all this stuff, and getting the milk ready, and getting my dog's medicines and food together, and doing all this stuff, and it's dark, and it's again, I'm just groggy and out of it, and and I'm doing this by myself. I'm there by myself because my wife is often, L.A. or San Francisco or Chicago or somewhere, smashing the patriarchy, and the irony is not lost on me. It's not lost on what is currently taking place. And anyway, so I'm getting all that stuff together, and as I said, it's dark, and the whole time I'm doing that, she's sitting there in my ear just going, pa, pa, ta, cha, 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 cha. And it's like I've got my own personalized 80s horror movie soundtrack playing, like, stop it. Don't do that. You're creeping me out. Stop it. I'm serious. I've got to put her down. I can't put her on the floor. So, I undo the oven door and set her on that. And it's fine. If nothing else, it allows her to get a little closer to the history of her peoples, and her great-grandfather built ovens. For the Nazis. Now, here's the thing. He got out, Asheville. He got out. Judgment. I have had the big discussion, and we have decided to let her live. And I'm gonna drill that into her head. I'm gonna tell her that repeatedly. Every day, I'm gonna make sure she knows that. Because when she's like 5 years old and she's having a tantrum, I want her to be able to repeat that out loud in a public place so that she knows it, and we're at the airport and we gotta get on the flight and she's having a tantrum. Like, hey, stop it. Hey, what did Daddy tell you? What did Daddy tell you? You let me live? Yeah, that's right, exactly. Not like the others? Yeah, exactly. Now, come on, we got to get on the plane. Come on. Seriously. You want to go meet your sister or brother? I don't know. We never found out. Let's go. Let's go. I truly believe that a kid is never too young to learn about abortion. No kid is one of the most narcissistic things a person can do. I believe that. I do believe that. And I don't think it's a conscious decision that people have. I think it's this subconscious thing that's in the back of everyone's head which is this idea of, you know, I like me. I think there should be more of me in the world. Look at that shitty lady with her shitty kids. I gotta balance this out. And I know there's a lot of different reasons people say they want to have kids. I want unconditional love, and I want a buddy, and where I'm from in the South, I think people have kids for practical reasons. They can sort of look ahead into the future and pragmatically, realize, well, this emphysema ain't gonna cure itself, and my diabetes is getting pretty bad, and pretty soon I'm gonna out-fat this rascal I'm sitting on, and I'm gonna out-fat it. I'm gonna have to get into the bed for the rest of my days, and hell, I'm gonna need somebody to go down to the liquor store and get my Pall Mall unfiltered, so I best get to fucking, Sure. Ash, I'm a good, decent person with good values and good morals, and my wife is as well, and I want to instill those lessons and values into my daughter and teach her what I think. But I also know that I am cynical, I'm jaded, I'm skeptical, I'm an atheist prone to bouts of depression. I have a jaundiced worldview, because I use my eyeballs and my ears. And and I just know what I know, but I want to tell these things to my daughter, but I can't just tell her all the things that I believe and I know, because that's borderline child abuse. You can't say that to a little kid. I'm not gonna be able to sit her down when she's like 4 years old and go, all right, honey, come on, let's go get something to eat, and then we'll go to the playground and we'll go on the swings. And you know what? You're 4 years old. I think you're old enough to know this. Honey, you were born to a deeply and shamefully racist country, acquired through genocide and built by slave labor. Its apocryphal history, a crumbling muddle of lies and deceits. And sweetheart, this profoundly shallow society you are now a part of is fueled by crass consumerism and narcissism and petty tribalism, and it worships money and status and places the appearance of being right above basic human dignity. And Peanut, your leaders are duplicitous hypocrites who cynically use religion and nationalism to easily manipulate ignorant and fearful. Here comes the airplane. That shit's not up for debate, but I can't just tell her that stuff. But there are things I want her to know that I think are important for her to know as she tries